Now, millions of Orthodox Christians are today marking Easter or Pascha. For many, it's a day of church services, decorating eggs, feasting and playing traditional games. But in Ukraine, festivities are largely on hold. Many Ukrainian soldiers are spending Orthodox Easter Sunday away from their families for the second year since Russia's invasion.
But a little taste of Easter was brought to one unit at a base north of Kyiv as they received a cake delivery. 15,000 cakes, all blessed by the head of the Orthodox Church of Ukraine, are being delivered to troops in entrenched positions. The commander of the Ukrainian Armed Forces said it was important to mark the occasion.
We are bound to say thank you to our soldiers and congratulate them on this holiday. We have to share a little joy of everyday life, which for now is not available to them. We have to bring a little goodness and holiday spirit to their trenches and fortifications.
Well, in Australia, it's celebrated by several ethnic communities, including Russian, Eritrean, Ethiopian, Armenian, Serbian, Bulgarian and Ukrainian. Kateryna Argyrou is Ukrainian. She joins us now in the studio. Thank you so much for coming in, Kateryna. Happy Easter, or what do you usually say today?
We say Christos voskres, which means Christ has risen, and the answer is voistinu voskres. He has truly risen.
And take us through, yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you. And what does today mean to you? What are the sort of things that you usually do today to mark this time?
Today is probably the holiest day in our calendar. It is steeped in tradition. From the moment that I was a little girl and my first memories that I can remember, it was always centered around creating and putting together the Easter basket. Yeah. And there are so many wonderful things that go into it with so much meaning. We have the Pascha bread, which represents Jesus Christ. There are different pisanki, which are traditional Ukrainian Easter eggs, designed and colored and written in wax, krashanki, which are colored eggs, and various other traditional items like meat, cheese.
So this, what we're looking at right now on the screen, that's a basket that you created?
Yes, that's right. That's a mini version that I created for my daughter last night. We were coloring eggs, and there's a little touch of Australia in there as well with the Easter bunny. But yes, it's how normally they look like, and you take it to church and get it blessed by the priest, and then you have on Sunday a family meal that you share with your dear and loved ones around the table.
That's a mini version. What do they usually?
Yes.
What's the big version?
Oh, it's huge. It has things like meat and cheese in it, and various other items that you can share with the whole family. So that was just for one
What
child.
does the basket represent? Does it represent anything?
Yeah, so the day is all about the resurrection of Jesus Christ. It's about new beginnings, life prevailing over death.
Your mum is in Kyiv and your cousin is also on the front line in Ukraine. It must be really hard at this time of year to have that separation between you two. How are you feeling about that today?
It's heartbreaking. Yeah. As I said, it's probably the biggest holiday that we ever look forward to. So knowing that I can't share that with my mom, knowing that I can't hug my family, that I can't spend time around the family table, and I know that I'm not the only one. There are millions of Ukrainians that are in this position. It is absolutely heartbreaking, but to remain, to keep some sort of normalcy, we have probably the biggest heroes and the bravest defenders on the front line, which I have 6 of my family members that are currently on the front line defending Ukraine. One of them is my cousin, probably my biggest hero. And what they are doing on the front line ensures that people, families, their wives and children back home can actually enjoy those traditions and keep that going, which is exactly what Russia's trying to wipe out off the face of the earth, is anything to do with Ukraine and Ukraine's deep traditions and just the beauty of it all.
Have you been able to speak to your cousin or his family?
Yes, I spoke to them yesterday. I wish my cousin a happy Easter. Couldn't do it without crying, just because I know how difficult it is for them right now. While it's supposed to be spring, it's actually quite cold. It was snowing the other week. Now it's raining, so they're sitting in the trenches with knee-deep water, not being able to move or leave their positions because they will not retreat. So it's very difficult. Psychologically, it's difficult. My cousin's been on the front line for over a year now. He has not been rotated. He has not been replaced. He has a lot of skills that he has managed to build, which he can train other troops. But just because Russia's brutal invasion is so fierce, they do not have time to train more troops and replace them. So a lot of the bulk of the responsibility is currently falling on the boys and men and women that are currently on the front line in Ukraine.
And just before, we saw some pictures of your cousin on the front line and also of your mum. You are the co-chair of the Australian Federation of Ukrainian Organisations. When you look at the action that the international community has taken so far in support of Ukraine, including Australia, what more would you like to see?
Australia has been a very strong supporter of Ukraine from the very beginning of Russia's full scale of invasion. For that, we will be forever grateful and thankful. I always say that Australia has come to Ukraine's aid at its darkest hour, and we are incredibly grateful for that. The fight continues. It's very fierce around Bakhmut, around Avdiivka. I just had another cousin of mine that called me the other day saying, our positions are being taken. We have nothing. We need optics. We need drones because we can't see the enemy coming, and just absolute despair because of them trying to do as much as they possibly can, but they need more assistance. So I hope that that message will be loud and clear to our Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, to Penny Wong, Richard Marles. We appreciate all the support that we have received, but we would like to have continued and sustainable military aid for Ukraine.
Well, Kateryna, Argyrou, it's great to have you on Weekend Breakfast. Thank you so much and enjoy the celebrations today.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.